Let's start with a question. What should you do if you meet another deaf person? Is it 1, 2, 3? The answer is 3. Treat them like a normal person.
The ear is a complex organ that lets us hear. But how does it work? Well, first, sound enters the ear, causing the eardrum to vibrate. That vibrates.
One thing I often get asked is how deaf are you? Or what level of hearing loss do you have? This is a good question. All you need to know is that there are 4 different levels of hearing loss: mild, moderate, severe, or profound. But I think the important question you should be asking is how can we make sure you are included? Every deaf person is different, and it's so important to recognize this. Some of us wear hearing aids, some of us have cochlear implants, some of us wear bahas, and some of us choose to wear nothing. Side note, these technologies do not cure us or make us hearing. They help, yes. Some of us communicate with speech, some of us communicate with signing support English, some of us communicate with British Sign Language. For example, in SSE, I would sign, "What is your name?" In BSL, I would sign, "Your name, what?" So SSE supports spoken English, whereas British Sign Language has its own grammatical structure and its own syntax.
Hi, I'm here. Oh, I'm sorry. We are here to tell you to speak one at a time and don't speak over one another. Do you want to say anything? It's your turn now.
You may have noticed the use of lowercase d and uppercase d for the word deaf. Someone who uses deaf with an uppercase D is indicating that it is a cultural identity for them. Deaf culture is the set of social beliefs, behaviors, art, literary traditions, history, values, and shared institutions of communities that are influenced by deafness. and which use sign language as the main means of communication. We have our own humour, we have our own schools, we have our own universities, we have our own festivals, we have our own TV shows, we have our own celebrities. The list goes on. Deaf culture is important not just because of its cultural richness, but because it allows us to be who we are. It is very likely that seminars will be taught online and that people will be encouraged to wear face masks in university. As you can imagine, this will have an impact on deaf and hard of hearing people's education. The latest guidelines given by NDCS include the following. They would encourage lecturers to be flexible and let communication support workers, interpreters, PAL and typists into online video calls. This could involve students' layouts being arranged in grid view, which would allow the student to see both the interpreter and lecturer. The interpreters could also record themselves signing during the lesson and then send it to the student afterwards. For tutorials, lecturers could speak to their students through text conversations instead of relying on phone calls or video calls. Additionally, they could also use auto captioning during video calls, which is available on Google Meets and Blackboard. On Zoom, there's no auto captioning, but if you are a host, you can assign someone else in the video call to do live captioning. Some students may not have any communication support because they rely on lip reading. It is still possible for them to make a late application for DSA, which can provide funding for support or technology that they might need. You can read more about this in this blog post here or in this article here. A student who studies deaf education has created clear face masks. You can find a YouTube tutorial on how to make them here.